All right, Born Again Season 2, Episode 6. Let's get into it. It was another banger. I don't think anyone's surprised given the momentum of the last two episodes, but this one is yet another banger. I wouldn't put it up there quite with the last episode, but I don't think any episode is going to top that. I'd be shocked if they did. But it was great. It was really good. Like the second or third best episode of this season so far. And I was honestly a little bit worried. Um, After last episode, I was kind of a little bit worried for this episode because I was worried they were gonna like lose steam a little bit or like lose momentum. Like, no, they did not fuck around. Like, seriously, dude, they got straight into it again, and it's great, dude. Everything here is fucking great. Um, dude, like I don't even know where to begin. Jessica Jones is back, obviously, and that's awesome. It was great to see her back, and it's pretty much confirmation that she had a kid with Luke Cage. You've got her daughter Danielle, so that's very exciting. That was a cute little sequence where the guys were trying to break in, and she just went outside and fucked them up, and did all that without us even having to see her face. We knew exactly who it was. That was great. And then her whole action sequence with Matt was fucking awesome. I mean, that was honestly, I want to say, the best action sequence of this entire season so far. Obviously, the one in the Fisk's prison was pretty good. I don't know which one I'd put on top, but I kind of like this one just a little bit more, just because like everything, just like it was just the added element of Jessica Jones and her power set and everything I enjoyed, but like it was honestly just great, and I could tell like it had great like 3D space, and I can tell where everyone was, and I could tell what was going on. There wasn't too many cuts, and it was very like kinetic and just nice. It was very nice to see, a good action sequence. But yeah, I thought that whole warehouse action sequence, whatever that was very cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Um I wish, and what we did get of it this episode was nice, but I did wish that we got a little bit more of Karen like being really fucking pissed off that Matt would bring Dex like to help him out and like nurse him back to health essentially. Like I I mean, she is obviously very pissed that he's so adamant about saving Dex and everything like that, and Karen just wants to kill him. I expected that, but I did expect like a little bit more, especially like towards the beginning. Like, you know, I thought that we were gonna get like more of the immediate aftermath of that, but we still got was decent, and her whole argument with Matt about how he saves people that causes more people to die, and even the callback to season 3 when Dex killed Father Lantom, which I feel like we've all fucking forgotten about right now, like by now. Like it's insane the amount of times I see people bring up the fact that Dex killed Foggy and that's why Matt hates him so much, but you forget that he also killed Father Lantom, who was just as important to Matt as Foggy, arguably. Like a damn near father figure. After his father was killed, he damn near raised him from a young age. Like, Father Lantom was also a significant person in Matt's life, and Dex killed him in cold blood. And I don't see enough people talk about that, and it was nice to see them acknowledge that in this episode, and the whole season 3 callback and everything was very, very, very nice. Um, and honestly, like everything here was pretty good. The whole little scene between Dex and Karen, like where she was holding the gun up to his head and he's like literally just like suicidal. Like he wants her to kill him. And I thought for a second that him wanting so bad for her to kill him was going to make her not kill him. But then Matt just came in and knocked the gun out of her hand with his billy club. So like whatever, who knows? Maybe she really would have killed him. And honestly, I don't blame her. And people trying to act like Karen is mischaracterized in this season or this episode because she wants to kill Dex or kill Fisk. People acting like she is being mischaracterized. I don't think they watch the Netflix show because like they often point to the fact that she was trying to get Matt to not kill Fisk. But people often forget that she was fully for killing Fisk until Foggy reminded her that Matt killing Fisk would ultimately destroy Matt, and that's why she was so against it, That's why she was trying to convince him not to do it. But Karen has never been against killing. I mean, she's fucking flirting with Frank Castle for his entire television show, and he kills people for a living. Like, dude, Karen has never had a problem with killing people, and this episode shows that. And people trying to act like she was never like this, or she's being character assassinated or something. Or just go and rewatch the Netflix show for fuck's sake. She shoots Wesley 7 times in the chest, and the fucking clip ran out, and that's why she stopped. Not because she wanted to stop, because the fucking clip ran out, dude. She's a bloodthirsty monster. No, I'm kidding. But she's never had a problem with killing, and I don't know why people are suddenly now acting like she has always been just as strict as Matt when it comes to killing. Like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you stupid? But yeah, I thought Karen's stuff in this episode was great. What else do we have here? Honestly, Jessica Jones honestly didn't get that as much screen time as I was expecting her to. I was expecting her to just kind of like become a part of the main gang, like with Karen and Matt. But she only got like 3 scenes, which is fine. Like, it's not like, the worst thing in the world. I was just expecting a little bit more, but like what we did get of her was pretty nice. And her and Matt's dynamic, like even before the fight scene, like on the rooftop when they're catching up or whatever, that was very nice to see. And they have great chemistry, and not like romantic chemistry, just like nice, like they bounce off each other well. And it felt just like Defenders, like they were just chummy again, and they felt like they were old friends, and that's exactly what they are essentially. So yeah, I thought everything with Matt and Jessica was great this episode. It's obviously great seeing Kristen Ritter back to that role. Hopefully she has a little bit bigger of a role in episodes 7 and 8, which I'm assuming she will. And yeah, okay, the whole thing with BB and Daniel and Buck, still great. Like, Buck and Daniel especially, and BB too, continue to get like the best characterization out of any of the new characters from this show thus far. And I'm just like, I'm just as interested in that whole storyline as I am about anything involving Matt, Fisk, Karen, Bullseye, Jessica Jones, anything like that. Like, I'm just as invested in Daniel and Buck and BB. Like, seriously, I really love what they've done with those characters this season so far, and everything involving them is really fucking intense, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, I am just as nervous when they're on screen as I was, well, I don't want to go crazy. I was going to say as I was in season 3 of the Netflix show, which I don't want to jump that far, but like, their storyline and their characters are very well written, and I appreciate that, and I'm invested in them. And I thought it was a very nice, like, little character beat that, like, BB was almost going to go through with leaking that information about Fisk not running for office, which was obviously just fake information that Daniel gave her to see if she was the leak. And then she was going to do it, but she kind of just got like persuaded out of not doing it out of sympathy for Daniel. And that was a very interesting, like, neat little character beat for her, because like thus far she's kind of been playing him like a fiddle, to be honest, and like just trying to butter him up just to get information out of him. But now she like actually, like, being in his home and around his mother and going into his childhood bedroom and shit, she's actually starting to feel for him, and that's like kind of getting in the way of her, clouding her judgment just a little bit, even though, I mean, luckily that information wasn't even real information, so it wouldn't have changed anything. Honestly, she saved her own life by not sending that out. But it's very interesting to now see her start to actually grow attached to Daniel, and not just, for the sake of journalism, like just for the sake of getting information. Like, she's actually starting to care about him now, which, like, I'm sure she always did on some level, but like now it's like starting to like really affect. Like, she was always willing to put the truth and put her career, like, in journalism in front of her relationship with Daniel. But now that's the line between those two things are starting to kind of fade a little bit, because she's starting to actually care for Daniel. And then him coming out of the gates at the end of this episode and being like, oh, he found the SD card, which, by the way, why the fuck did she leave that in her pocket? The only reasonable explanation I can see for that is that she never knew that it was put in there in the first place, which I really hope that that's what it is, because if not, why the fuck would you leave that in your pocket when you're going on a date with somebody who works for Fisk? Like, are you kidding me? But no, she probably just never knew that it was in there, so it's not that big of a deal. I just noticed that and I was like, wow, I can't believe that fucking thing's still in there. And it was very interesting to see him confront her about that at the end, until they get distracted by the whole protest thing going on. So I'm very interested to see how that folds out and see how their relationship changes. And I do think that Daniel is going to die in some form or another. I think that Buck is going to kill him. He's going to try to protect BB or something. And then Buck is going to kill him maybe in the finale. Again, I don't know that. I'm just predicting it. But don't come after me if my prediction ends up being true. But yeah, I could definitely very much see that happening. Yeah, so what else do we have here? I don't know. Everything with Fisk, I mean, as minimal as it was this episode, not minimal per se, but like he didn't get like a ton of screen time this episode, which was fine. I mean, he was grieving and everything like that. Honestly, I mean, fuck, he killed that damn doctor not even 60 seconds into the episode. Like, I was very confused about that whole scene where the doctor was coming in and like feeding Fisk these quotes and saying like, "I'm sorry for your loss," and trying to hug him and like put his hand on his shoulder and shit. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing here? And then Fisk just fucking literally squeezes the life out of him and kills him. And so I was like, okay, that's what that was for. But yeah, Fisk ain't playing around no more. And it's very much apparent at the end of the episode here too. Which that was all very honestly unexpected. But I'm glad that we got that, and I'm interested to see like what comes from this. I don't know. I was not expecting the end of this episode at all. I thought, because we've seen clips and shit from the end of this episode in the trailers, but I thought that was all going to be in the finale. You know, Fisk and Matt fighting in front of the rabbit in a snowstorm shit. And all the protests and everything with the people with the Daredevil mask. I thought that was all finale material. And maybe some of it still is. But I was not expecting them to fight in episode 6. Like, it didn't feel out of nowhere. I was just, like, very shocked, you know, when that shadow came in, you could see the devil horns, and I was like, whoa, 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 we're doing this already? We're damn, whoa, coming right out of the gates and doing this already. I like it. I like this episode's, like, just like ballsy mentality of like, okay, we're fucking getting straight into this shit. We're done fucking beating around the bush and doing whatever, you know. The last 2 episodes had serious fucking momentum, and we're gonna keep that up. And I very much appreciate that. And it was fucking crazy to see Matt and Fisk fighting at the end of this episode in a fight scene that I thought was for the most part pretty well shot, and I liked it. There was a couple of hits where I was like, yeah, that's really fucking fake. Or didn't feel like there was any weight behind it. There was a couple of those hits, but a lot of the choreography and the camera work and everything I thought was pretty solid. And I think they handled it pretty well, at least for what I assume is going to be one of 2 or 3 confrontations, probably just 2, between Matt and Fisk this season. They've got to fight in the finale, right? Like, they've got to. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe if they pull some bullshit out where they don't, and it's even better than if they did, then who am I to judge? But, yeah, I was very much not expecting that at all. But yeah, I thought that was all pretty good, and that was an interesting confrontation. I'm gonna have to rewatch that a couple more times and like really like absorb like what was going on there, because I was just like still kind of just like in shock. I was like, whoa, 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 we're doing this right now, and they're doing this right now. Fuck it, why not? But yeah, I thought that whole fight sequence was great. I honestly thought that Matt was gonna get like the shit kicked out of him, and then it was gonna be that scene, that clip that we've seen in the trailers of Fisk standing up on the balcony, like covered in blood, and he's like speaking to the crowd. But I guess maybe that's gonna be next episode or the finale. I honestly thought that that's what was gonna happen, because like obviously Matt can't win this confrontation because like you just can't do that. But I thought that Fisk was going to get the better of him, be like, you know, the grief-stricken, bloodlusted version of himself, and just like fucking wail on Matt to an inch of his life, or within an inch of his life. But he didn't do that, and it ended kind of like in a very open cliffhangery sort of way. I honestly don't remember exactly what beat it ended on. I remember Matt like kneed him in the face, and then Fisk got up and then he was like, "Well, you're not gonna arrest me and you're not gonna kill me, so what are you gonna do?" And I think it ended after that. Obviously, you got Karen getting arrested or getting found out by the AVTF, excuse me. And so that was very. I saw that coming. Um, Once she like got her wig ripped off, I was like, yeah, okay, because we've seen clips of her in some kind of prison in the trailer, so I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm assuming we're gonna see the fallout of that next episode, and that whole they did an excellent job of building up the tension. Sorry if you can hear this. I'm a professional fidgeter, dude. I don't know why I keep doing this. They did an excellent job of building up the tension of that whole protest sequence at the end because like once Powell shot that guy who was like the traitor or whatever, the guy that the task force member that helped Daredevil, um once he killed that guy, I was like, yo, we're going full Gorman here. Like we're going full fucking they're going to open fire on the crowd. That's what I thought was going to happen. They didn't do that. Um Maybe they didn't have the balls to do that, or maybe that's not the point of what they were trying to do. I don't know. But I was sure that I was like, okay, they just killed this guy, and now they're just gonna be like, okay, let them loose, unload your clips, boys. I very much thought that was what they were gonna do, and I was very fucking nervous. Like this show actually made me fucking like sweating bullets, dude. I was like, holy shit, are they actually just gonna murk this entire crowd? Like, but they didn't do that. But I mean, they all started beating the shit out of them and arresting them and whatever. Is going to be craziness. There's still some, what's it called, of these like protest sort of rally sequences that we haven't really seen yet. That we have seen in the trailers where Jessica is in, and also hang on. Where the fuck is Mahoney, dude? We've seen him in multiple trailer clips, and we have fucking 2 episodes left, and he is nowhere to be seen, okay? We haven't seen Sherry since the first episode. Fuck him. I don't care. Where the fuck is Mahoney? I was promised Mahoney, and I haven't fucking seen him, dude. Where is he? Where is he? Is she safe? Is she alright? No, I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but, yeah, dude, that just occurred to me. I was like, where the fuck is he? Like, what the hell? Um, I'm assuming he has to come in next episode. There's no way they're gonna wait till the fucking finale to reveal Mahoney. That's stupid. But I was going to say there are some clips with like the crowd with all the Daredevil masks and stuff that we haven't seen yet. That Jessica Jones is in those, and Mahoney and Cherry and stuff like that, and Karen and Matt. So I'm assuming that's gonna be the finale. But yeah, shit, what else? There's a lot here. There is a lot fucking here. Um, you've got Mr. Charles doing whatever it is he does. I don't fucking know. I I hesitate to say this, but Matthew Lillard's such a wasted casting in this show because like he doesn't get to do anything. Like all of Mr. Charles scenes are like some of the most forgettable scenes in any of these episodes. Like his scene in episode 4 is probably my least favorite scene, and same deal here. Like any time he's on screen, I'm just like, okay, we got like a fucking whatever scene. Like, you know, Fisk stole his weapons and he's like, oh fuck, and he's eating his apple or whatever. He's always eating something. I guess that's his gimmick. Um, and then you've got him in the governor's office, and he's like, well, the little fish doesn't tell the big fish how to swim. Like, just shut the fuck up, dude. Get out of this show. I don't care about you. I seriously don't. He is by far the least interesting character this entire season, and that's a real shame because Matthew Lillard, you can tell he is trying, but he just doesn't have a lot to work with. You know, he's being a little quirky, eccentric little self, and I appreciate that. But like, his role in this season is just so fucking pointless. I mean, it's not pointless per se. Like, he has some role to play with the whole weapons shit and the U.S. government angle, but, like, I just don't care about any of his scenes, you know? Excuse me. But yeah, Honestly, if I had any complaints about this episode and like the last couple of episodes and this season, it's just Mr. Charles, dude. I don't give a fuck about him. Like, seriously, if he was not in the show at all, it would not change my opinion at all. It would honestly make me like the show a little bit more because we'd be spending less time on this fucking stupid character that has nothing to do with anything. He does have like I want to preface this by saying I do understand his role in the plot from a like plot like logistics perspective. You know, he's supplying the weapons and da 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 da. Obviously, he has a semi important role to play here. I am not invested in his character, nor am I invested in anything that has to do with him. So like I just wish that either they wrote him better or they just didn't include him at all. You know, they did away with the whole weapons thing. I don't know, some fucking workaround because he's really not doing it for me thus far. Um, but yeah, that's really the only like problem that I have with this episode per se. Obviously you still got the shitty window backlighting, but that's obviously a creative choice that they are very committed to. Because they do it a lot and they do it very intentionally. And honestly, at this point, I'm just like whatever. I'm numb to it at this point. Excuse me. Um, I mean, I don't think it looks good, and if I was directing the show, I would not do that. But it's just a creative choice that they wanted to do, and they're committed to it. And I don't know. Hopefully, they won't do it next season, but I'm not gonna bite my tongue. It is what it is, honestly. What else? What else? What else? I don't know. I don't know. I think I mostly covered everything. Yeah, I covered Matt and Karen and Bullseye. I covered the whole thing with BB and Daniel and Buck. That is very interesting, and I'm very excited to see how that turns out. The whole confrontation at the end between Matt and Fisk, then the whole riot thing outside, riot protest, whatever you want to fucking call it. And then Karen getting found out and promptly arrested, probably. Um, yeah, I'm expecting next episode to maybe be a little bit more of a down episode before we like, you know, go like kick it into full gear for the finale. I'm expecting crazy ass things from the finale. The fucking showrunner and the damn everybody behind the scenes has been hyping the shit out of this finale. Like I think even D'Onofrio or Charlie Cox, maybe both of them, like claimed that there was a moment in the finale that outdid the I beat you scene from season 3. I don't believe that for a second. I know it's just them being hyperbolic, but for them to even fucking muster up that comparison, it's got to be something fucking good. I'm not expecting something on par or better than the I beat you scene. That's like the greatest scene in all of live action Marvel, but for them to even think about making that comparison, it's got to be something fucking good. And so I'm very excited to see what that is. And the whole, however, that goes down between Matt and Fisk, I'm very, very intrigued to see what that is because obviously, you know, they're not lying about this season being heat, you know? Like, I was worried that, like, after episode 3, I was like, oh, were the critics being a little bit hyperbolic with how this season kicks into gear? No, they were not fucking lying one bit. They were not speaking any hyperbole. This season really locked in at episode 4, and it is not fucking slowing down. And at this point, I don't expect it to, and I expect this same level of quality, if not better, for the next 2 episodes. So I'm all on board. Not that I even needed to be convinced anymore. I mean, episodes 4 and 5, shit, episode 5 alone is good enough to get me onto like if like for fucking 28 more episodes of this. I don't even care. But yeah, I am fully on the train now. I am fully on the Born Again train, even with all its flaws. I don't care. I am fully fucking invested, and I really, really am liking this show a lot. And my hype grows for season 3 every day. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this review. Again, don't expect a review of The Boys tomorrow because I have to work at 8 a.m. and I have to work an 8-hour shift. I could watch it and review it when I get home. I just have to see what my homework is looking like. I don't even know. I'd have to look. Um, I reviewed it so late last week because I was fucking balls to the wall, fucking busy with, you know, crazy busy with all tons of different kinds of shit. But hopefully I'll get to review the next Boys episode sooner rather than later. But don't expect it like tomorrow morning because I can't do that. But yeah, I am always worried when I'm about to wrap these things up that I'm missing something that I really wanted to talk about, but like I don't think I am. I really don't. I think I covered everything, and if I missed something, then who gives a shit? No one's gonna watch this anyways. All right, yeah, that's a really sad note to end on. But anyways, um, yeah, that's gonna do it for this review. Very excited for episode 7 and the rest of the season and the rest of the show for whatever this show holds in the future. I'm very excited because this show and these characters are in the right fucking hands, 100% without a doubt. So yeah, I'm very excited. All right, but that's gonna do it. See ya.